Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Has anybody tried to duplicate your style?
Well, bite.
I know
He's like, just
that's
try
what it's impossible
like,
to do because you're too different.
I mean, if they did, obviously it's an honor. You know, I never noticed that. I mean, I'm biting off these movies, so you biting the second time, or you getting the second servings or whatever the fuck you biting. You know what I'm saying?
Like double
right.
part.
That's like saying I sampled Through the Wire from Chaka Khan. Now you sampled it because I did it, which is cool. But we're both sampling the first joint, so you ain't taking my shit. But I mean, if they did, I never noticed, and it never got brought to my attention. But like again, like I never see it as a disrespect or anything like that. It's more of an honor.
Yeah.
Like you saw something and you saw a format or a blueprint and you went with it. That's really the whole point of the exercise.
When doing research on you, I was seeing like some of the stuff you did. I wasn't sure if this was a rock group, but I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Was your voice in a video game as well?
Yes. Yeah, I've done video
was
games.
Was it Midnight Club?
Yeah, Club Express. Yeah.
Club Express, really?
It's a shame, you know? You weren't gonna win anyway, but still.
Oh man.
I've done video games because of the union, because of the albums, getting on the radio and then becoming a member of the union opened so much doors for me. You know what I mean? I've done video games. I've done audio books that are huge now, that back then at the beginning, infant stages, no one knew what that was.
Right.
Like I'll read my own book. I know how to read.
Right.
So, but no, you know, then he walked up as active, you know what I mean? And then I've done also commercials. I've done so much just off of them believing in me. I gained a career. I'm able to provide for myself.
Yes.
Off of that. That's incredible. You know what I mean? You're not gonna see a story like that. That's only God can do that. And that's why, you know, I know during this interview, and I know you know me as a crazy person and there's crazy stories out there. I've done a lot of crazy shit in my life. But one major thing is I always had faith. I always believed. And I know maybe you're listening to this and I mention God a lot, is because I firmly believe that all the graces and the blessings that have come on me because of getting on all these things are because of God.
Oh, he's number one.
Yes.
Number one.
He's number one for me.
And I know that you're watching this and you could point, you could see Ronald put up stuff. I've done a lot of crazy shit. But God always finds those kind of people. The meek and those that are down on their luck, and maybe the ones that aren't really favorably looked at in society, and he elevates them. And that's what he does. And that's who I am. I'm a loser. I'm a nothing. I'm very angry. I have bitterness in me. And God was able to take that and flip that and make that work for me. And I can't believe him. And I can't thank him enough. And the only way I feel I could is by always giving the grace and the power to him.
Oh, well, like I said, I'm big, you know, I'm very religious. I'm Catholic. Everybody knows.
I'm Catholic too.
I don't play with religion. I'm not telling anybody because I know that's a situation. What you do is what you do.
No. I don't impose my religion on anybody.
I'm not doing that.
I never impose my religion.
But I'm Catholic and I believe in God. Without him, I'm nothing.
Right. But people need to believe. People need to know that these stories that I'm telling you, they're not random. They're not lucky. They're not happenstance. I believe it's God. That story that Ron is giving you my discography and letting you know that I've done all these things off of me just being an intern at a label and being mad and cursing at people.
Shout out to Ron to working on.
Yeah, he is.
Just one day's worth of work.
Let's give him a hand. Clap at him. Come on, you clapped at him before when he was on the block. Now you can't clap at him. Good shit. You know you clapped at Ron before. Now you can't clap like that.
Yo, listen.
You're about to give me a paper cut in my face. I'm about to get the real Scarface. Like, what's that front cover to my face?
Listen.
So sit up.
Listen,
how am I gonna scar like that?
I gotta make you feel. Give me any new skits coming to look forward to?
I got a skit coming. I got one big, but I can't say it.
I know, of course.
I can't say it. But I mean, just know that I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am the beginning and I am the end. Just like I was there at the beginning, I will be there at the end. You will hear my voice at the end. Just know that.
How the fuck did you fucking get a role in Brooklyn Way?
Okay, so Brooklyn Way is a web series that's done by my man, Gat Murder. Big shout out to Gat Murder and everybody. He asked me to just come through one day. He's very laxed. It's very, one thing I adore about the whole website, web series movement is it's very impromptu. There's no script. It's basically you just doing you. Like how we did when we were doing our thing. You know, this isn't stories that Hollywood is telling. These are stories about what's going on in our community in Brooklyn, and what's going on in Harlem, what's going on in Queens, what's going on in the Bronx. You know what I mean? Funny stories, tales of everyday life in these neighborhoods. And he asked me to just be on an episode, and from there it took on a life of its own, and it became a reoccurring character, which is the greatness of a hip-hop conducted project, is that there is no rules. It's on the fly. It's learning on the fly, and it's also when you see something working, going in that area, and not saying, oh, wait a minute, but we were supposed to do that. Jay is very good at that. Jay is good at noticing, okay, this is working, so I'm going to roll with that. I had a plan, but I'm now going to call an audible because I see the way the defense is lining up, so I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to shift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's very good at that. And that's one, and also a thing that needs to be learned. That if you're watching this, always be able to shift, always be able to pivot when you have a plan that maybe isn't going the way you want it to, and you see that, just like you right now, you're doing your podcasting, right? I notice, because I read the comments, I do read comments when I do anything, or I see people doing that. I want to see what, the comments are like kind of the new version of back in the days when radio people call up and want to hear a record. That gives the station a little bit of a glimpse of what's going on in the streets. Like, this is what people want to hear. Okay, we're going to play that then. You know what I mean? So just like when you read comments, you see what people gravitate to. A lot of people like Gary, you're so real. You're very authentic. How did you get this person up there? I love the way you vibe with them, this and that. So you got to go with that because that's the area that they like. Jay did that with the Hustlers. Eminem did that with the Crazy White Boys. Whenever you want to be successful, you have to create a demographic that likes you. You have to be able to satisfy them all the time, and then eventually all of them else will come. But you continue satisfying that very fan base. What made Jay stand out was he was a hustler, but he wasn't a hustler the way everybody else was rapping. He wasn't hand-in-handing. He's the big man.
He gave the Bible to
He
the streets,
gave
man.
no, but he also
money,
was the voice of the hustlers that are rolling around in the whip, dropping shit off, and doing their thing. The ones that talking to the connect, not the hand-in-hand on the block that are just doing it. So he came from a different aspect of it. I'm not going to rob you. What do I need to rob you for? I'm making cake. You understand? Damon was like that too. They had that whole thing. So they spoke to those people, those specific people that have money and go to the club and was popping bottles before it was cool. They spoke for them. So Jay knew, I'm going to continue making music catered to them because that's my core fan base.
15 years straight.
15 years straight.